You so messy. He-
Oh, look at it. Whoa.
Yo, yo, yo.
hey, hey,
What's going on, man? It is summertime for everybody.
For everybody.
And we are back in the building.
Yes, yes.
It is
yes.
190 degrees out here in Houston.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, we are living summertime right now.
Summer,
But listen, y'all.
summertime.
Hey, I'm your boy, Pastor J.
And I'm your girl, Lady Free, and thank you for joining us here on Shift Real Talk TV. All right? We talk about love, life, relationships, how to get in, how to get out, how to stay in, all of that. We talk a lot of shift,
But we can back it
but we
up.
can back it up. Today's hot topic is going to be a fireball. And it is you gotta stay for the long haul and if you want to understand. But it is a trick will always tell you what you want to hear.
A trick.
A trick will always tell you what you want to hear.
Wow. You got to be specific with that because
We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into
we're
it.
going to get into it.
Yeah. Because I already know people minds thinking like a trick. What you
And
mean?
you call me a trick, man. You call me a trick, man.
What you mean? But a trick will always tell you what you want to hear. See, that's that thing where if you play with fire, you will get burned. It might be a first degree. It might be a second degree. It might be a third degree, but you're going to get burned.
You going to get burned.
All right, so let's get into this topic. We letting people know that Shift Real Talk is now live. So just come on in, join in, and make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Shift Real Talk TV, and make sure all your friends know what's going on because this is some good nuggets about to pop off in this place.
Yes.
So let's get into it, Pastor J.
So I would like to start, first by saying our decisions can either cause a reward or a consequence.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we make decisions, we allow our situations to help us be the determining factor of decisions that we make. So sometimes if we're struggling, we may do something illegal to make it. You know what I'm saying? If we are doing okay, we still may do something illegal to make it. But at the end of the day, our decisions is what causes us to make. Our situations cause us to make decisions that could hurt us and that could cause great consequences. And something so small, something that may seem small, may cause a major consequence in our life. I made a decision I'm very transparent with my life because I know from whence I came. But I made decisions in my life that were a good 2 minutes. When I say a good 2 minutes, it was a good 2 minutes. And it was a good 2 minutes that cost me some consequences in my life that I have to deal from those consequences even to this day. You know what I'm saying? But it's something that really can cause you to deal with some pain.
It'll shift the trajectory of your life. So basically, this topic came from a statement that Pastor J made. The conversation went a little bit like this. Hey, man, I'm trying to do right by my wife, man. We separated, but I'm trying to get back with her. I've been doing everything that I feel like, she be wanting me to do. I'm trying to, show her that I'm here. I'm trying to show her I still want the marriage and everything, but she tripping. So shoot, it's this female that's been in my ear. All right, she gonna miss out. And then Pastor J say, look, dude, a trick will always tell you what you want to hear. Now marinate on that for a minute. It's those times in our life when we are at our almost breaking point. It could be the breakthrough point, but you can't see it like that because you've been trying, and now all of a sudden you just like, man, I'm finna give up. Right at your give up moment, here comes some situation.
A situationship.
Yeah. Here comes some situation, and the situation is everything that you think you want to hear. It's everything that's stroking your ego. It's everything that's making you feel like a man, and you don't even realize it's a trick. It's a trick designed especially for you in the situation you in right now. And that's why they say do not make permanent decisions on temporary emotions. Those emotions are fleeting.
Small compromises turn into major consequences.
My God.
Small compromises then can turn into a major consequence. And it is something as simple as that. Because at the end of the day, our flesh, again, here's a decision that we make on, we allow our situation to determine the decisions that we make. Here's a situation where this guy, his flesh was really like, look, and he wanted to feel loved. He wanted to be validated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that happens, You can be in situations where you giving your all, or you giving what you believe that what you're giving should warrant a return. But one thing I'm learning today, I'm learning this lesson. I'm learning a hard lesson. A lot of times when you do something, especially when you're doing it from the kindness of your heart, sometimes you don't need sometimes you can't expect the same treatment that you give. But when you expecting something back from what you give, then you're gonna always be let down. You're gonna always come to a point where you feel like, dang, I'm giving more. Or dang, gosh, why you at least, like, we went through something like this not too long ago. Like, why are you not showing me that you appreciate what I'm trying to do, or like I'm trying to show you that I'm care, that I love you, or that I'm trying to show you that I'm there for you, and you giving me back.
Okay, so let's break it down so it'll forever be broke. Because you can't, you on this show, we don't just throw out little vague, scenarios. Okay,
Yeah.
This is a situation. My barber is a dope barber, okay? And his name is Pastor J. And the other day I went to the shop. First of all, I always be like, I'm coming up to get my hair cut. Like, he don't have other appointments. Like, I'm just
She just brought you in,
okay, I'm telling a story.
Okay.
I'm telling it.
I'm coming up there,
Babe, I'm about to come and get a haircut. You busy? But I did ask if you was busy, so I was considerate of that. All right, came up to the shop, get me a cut. Babe, I want it like this. Sent the picture and everything. I said, I want to get that ATL, because the ATL cuts, they be real nice, precise. I want that ATL. So he cut my hair. He did a phenomenal job. It was what I wanted. And I said, okay,
Yeah,
I got, huh?
Okay.
I said, okay, I got my ATL. And that's basically what I said. I looked in the mirror, and then I was like, all right, babe, gave him a kiss, and I left. Okay, so because of that, I did not realize that he feels as though I'm almost like I'm supposed to get a cut, and I don't appreciate his service. So what I did, I was dyeing my hair, and that was, as I was dyeing my hair, I saw like one little part that I was like, whoa, hold up, that's not like how I wanted it. So I went and I made a statement. I could have said it differently, but I made a statement, and I was like, all right, you gonna have, well, we're not gonna get into the statement I made, but it hurt his feelings because my husband.
It didn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I wasn't in my feelings, but
My
it was like,
husband's
you
love
got
languages.
nerve.
My husband's love language is words of affirmation. So words really do get to him, and so he throughout the whole we had a little debacle, and throughout the little conversation, he threw out these words: "You don't appreciate me." I was like, what? How could you say that? And I immediately went into like, because I was like, I when I do things for you, like I cook and make sure I serve you your meal. I make sure you good. I'm always like trying to be there for you, trying to be, that ride or die. I appreciate you. And he was like, when you come up and get a haircut, you don't appreciate it. And then you have the nerve. You don't pay for it or nothing. You have the nerve to want to say what I didn't do, right? And I was like, okay. I had to. And so I kept yak yak yak. Yeah, I did. And he was like, man, just leave it alone. I was like, no, I need to get an understanding so I can know how to be better, because I'm always looking for ways to, improve. So he walked out, and I was kind of offended that he walked out. But then I thought, it gave me my moment. When I thought about it, I said, oh snap. I don't act like I appreciate it, because I don't say thank you, babe. I don't do nothing. I just mwah, all right, bye. And I had to, because I was thinking all the stuff I do, those are acts of service, should let you know I appreciate you. But that's not his love language. His love language is words of affirmation. So,
well, I beg to differ.
What do you mean?
Well, because she said my love language is words of affirmation. And I beg to differ a little bit. And I'm going to tell you what happens. Because I'm a dude that always does. Like, she don't have to tell me twice. If something is going on with her car, immediately,
that's true.
I take care of it. If she need gas and she don't know how to open the gas tank, leave it alone.
Now.
I'm leaving. She don't put gas in her. Only thing she does know how to do with her car is put the key, and it's a keyless entry. So boom, so she know how to touch the door so the door can open and get in and start it up. That's the only thing she know how to do with this car. If it get a flat, she don't know how to put air in it. If something goes wrong, she don't know. And something been going on with her car for the last couple of days. Guess what? She didn't have to tell me twice. I did it. So what I'm saying is, if for a person that is always doing, you know what I'm saying, always doing and always doing and always doing. If I'm always doing and you ain't got to tell me twice, it's like when I hear is another service that I'm giving you, and this is where I work and I'm making money here, and you come in like, thank you. They even say thank you. You just, okay, goodbye. I'm like,
Don't act like I said
got
it like
offended.
that, though.
I got offended because it's like, gosh, like out of everything that I do, at least say thank you. You know what? I appreciate you.
You're right.
Because she never says,
And I did not
thank you.
And I didn't think
and
about it.
as much as I do, not even, I can see as much as I do, and I don't do it for, and I said earlier, I don't, what I do, I don't do it for a response. Because I do it because this is who I am.
Because you get
this is
one.
This is the kindness of my heart. So when I do stuff, I don't do it for you to be like, oh, here's $10. You know, you ain't got to tip me, or tip. I work for tips. No, but at the end of the day, if I am doing so much, and I just believe she got spoiled with everything that I do. That it's like she became entitled.
I sure did. She
became entitled.
Entitlement.
And it's like, no, this ain't got nothing to do with you. Me saying my love language is words of affirmation. Is dang, dude.
Okay, wait. So, because I think what you did was you didn't listen to the period. Because when I said your love language was words of affirmation. Hold on, baby.
Okay.
I said that because that's what made me realize all the stuff that I do are acts of service. When I serve you, when I do things for you, when I'm always there trying to lift you up and speaking to the king in you and all of those things, those are those are acts of service that I do.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't relate to you, that I appreciate you, until I came in there and said, and I had to bite it, and I said, babe, I thought about it, and you're right. I don't appreciate when you do my cuts, because I realized I had to think about what I do. And I told you, I do this, I do this, I do that. And then you was like, exactly, that's right. And your whole mood lifted once I came to you and was like,
I'm saying I had that moment of thought too. But let's go back, because our Shift Real Talk family is in. Hey, Aunt Liza.
Hey,
my sister
Aunt
Tees,
Liza.
Patricia.
Hey,
How you doing? Lasagna. Hey, how you doing? Aunt Liza said, our divorce is official. Me and Darren are divorced. I'm sad about that.
Me too.
I'm really sad about that. But honestly, hey.
We respect your decision.
Yes.
And we still, of course, we love you always. Always.
Yes. And yes,
So,
and she also agrees it's the feeling of entitlement.
Yes.
She has gotten spoiled for so much that I do. So this was just like a level of, just at just this one little thing, just acknowledge everything that I do. Like I said, she don't have to ask me to do nothing twice. She don't even say.
Wait, but don't wait, because it appears it's almost as if I don't do anything and I'm just that.
I'm not saying it. See, there you go. See, now we going to what making it. No, the point, the disagreement was, and we letting you in on. We letting y'all.
Because
trust me.
this we going somewhere. Trust.
Yeah, we. What'd you say? I lost my train of thought.
Good. Perfect.
No, it ain't good. Okay, good. I got it. What I'm saying here is, like, even like making an appointment, because I have, schedule out I have appointments. So my appointments give me that respect what I do.
Right.
So if my appointments that pay, and they say, hey, I'm gonna book an appointment with you, and on this day, so I schedule out. So she don't do that. She'll call me, hey, you busy? I'm getting ready to come up there to get my hair cut.
I don't do it like that.
Huh?
I do
Wait
not
a minute.
do it like that.
Wait a minute. Like, wait, come at 3. You sure? I'm gonna come at 3. I'm like, first and foremost, she ain't paying, and that, and I'd make it jokingly, but I just be saying it like, dang, at least get up and say thank you. You know what I'm saying? You not paying, and you are coming on a busy day, so just give me that at least give me that payment. And payment ain't kissing me on my. No, that's not payment. That is an act of service.
Okay, so
that ain't paying me.
So hands raised.
Yes.
In waving the white flag. Okay, so listen, this is the deal. You are absolutely correct. I'm not gonna front. I had that moment, but one thing about it, I'm glad, because you didn't tell me that that's how you felt. But I'm glad that, see, sometimes people think, oh, when y'all have arguments, that's not good. We got to be harmony all the time. But this conversation brought out a feeling that he didn't tell me, which I'm glad. Because one thing about it is, once those feelings come up, we discuss it. We have conversations now. We don't do knockdown drag outs and all
of
that.
Hey, Mama Cheeks.
Hey, Mama Cheeks. So basically, what that did was it brought me back to a place of, wow, this is what I do. Because sometimes when you in it, you rolling and autopilot might come on, at times, because, you coasting. And that's what happened. So I'm glad that we have.
She call it coasting. I call it comfortable. Because, again.
Well, aren't you comfortable when you coasting?
The point is.
Saying the same thing differently.
You coast, comfortable, spoil, entitled, all
right.
of
And like I said, I was.
Mama Cheek said the best part is y'all laughed. Laughter heals your marriage.
Exactly.
Both of y'all are spoiled. Feels good.
See, Mama Cheeks.
That was a great way to put that.
We're gonna have to have another show, Mama Cheeks, about how he's spoiled, how he leaves his plate and just expects me. I bring a tray and everything. He leave it right on the floor, or right, But that's, and it's the way we roll, the way we vibe. It doesn't. It's our thing. So. Anyway, I digress. So basically, the question I asked him later, we were eating at a restaurant, and I said, babe, if you ever felt like that this relationship, okay, so we're doing 10 years, our anniversary is July the 2nd. It'll be 10 years. I said, if you ever got to the point down the line where you felt like, this marriage, it ain't.
A trick question.
We growing up. It wasn't. It was a real one. We growing apart. It's not working for me no more. And somebody else is catching your ear, like another female. She's feeling a void, or she in there. She in your ear. I said, how would you tell me?
First and foremost, I don't think the Shift Real Talk family will accept somebody else
sitting in my seat.
Sitting in the seat. They'd be like, wait a minute, who's that? That ain't Lady Free. That ain't Lady Free. Who is be like, especially Eliza? She'd be like, Eliza be like, Pastor J, no, we're not. No, that is not the Bible. But Patricia be like, no, don't you do it.
You have one person on watching. Everybody leave,
and that one person to be me logged in.
But tell them how you answered it though.
I couldn't imagine. Oh, thank you, Mama Cheeks. Man, we love you. We miss you. And, we got to come see you. Seriously. She said, thank God you are not perfect.
I know that's
He'd be in trouble.
I know. Oh, you're so sweet.
Yes, yes. We
What
just
was your answer?
my answer was, like I've been there, I've done that. You know what I mean? Like, I've been there, done that, did that before, and it wouldn't be nobody else at the end of the day. It just wouldn't be. But the thing is, like, let's go back for a little bit. Let's go back to the topic because
Okay.
the topic is, really playing with fire. What happens when you play with fire?
Okay.
What
talk
happens
about
when
it.
you do that? A lot of us come close to not even just temptation, but we come close. We get put ourselves in situations where it's like we're almost attracted to dysfunction. We're attracted to drama. We're attracted to a temptation. We're attracted to those things. Now, everything I said, mind you, everything that I just said is something that could cause us to get in trouble. But again, sometimes our situations are just, we feel that our situations are that detrimental. Those are the things that attract us and make us make decisions to go to something that could burn us.
My God.
You know what I'm saying?
trick.
Huh?
I said it's that trick.
It's that trick. It's that easy. And the thing is, we think it's easy. We think, oh, that's easy because it's right in my face. You're close to it. And it's right. You know why it's right in your face? Because you're close to it. And you're only close to a lot of these situations because sometimes this is where our level of thinking is. This is where our level of fear is. This is where our level of pain is. Sometimes those emotions put us in a position where we can see these things that are attracting because we feel like if I go to that just for a little dab will do you. A little dab ain't gonna hurt you. You know what I'm saying? This is what we say. A little dab is not gonna hurt you. It's good for the soul. But the Bible says, Proverbs 6:27, it says, can a man take fire in his bosom and not be burned? You will be burned. I don't care how you think you are getting away with it. I don't care how you think that nobody will find out. I don't care how you think that, like this is just me, doing what I got to do for me. You understand? Like I'm in this situation and I'm doing this for me. And I don't think we understand how that decision or that mindset could lead you into a bad world of consequences from that one decision.
Yeah.
It is so important that the Bible leads us in every way that we go. The Bible says also, yield not to temptation, yield not to the actual temptation. So that means even if you're thinking about it, because when you think about it, what does that do? That thought brings upon, oh wow, like.
Oh yeah. Well, if you sit on that thought too long.
Hold on,
Right? Yeah. There you go.
Hold on, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that thought brings about a what? It brings about a reaction or an action, a reaction to that thought. Mm-hmm. And when we react on that thought, that's why he don't even want you to yield to the temptation. Cast down the imagination. Cast the thought away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't, you can't do that. And also, why we get tricked is because a lot of us stay around that fire too long. We stay around dysfunction too long.
I think the trick can get you. I think you get tricked when there's something in you that you're trying to cause another human being to feel that only God can feel. It's like that emptiness, that dark place. Like when you're going through something and all of a sudden you just gotta get in the car and drive, and you end up where you're not supposed to be, or you going through. Some people go through like bereavement, or they going through relationship problems. It doesn't matter what it is. The trick is not always a woman. The trick can be a bottle. The trick can be a blunt. The trick can be whatever you use to satisfy that urge to not feel what you got to feel in the moment. The problem the problem is we don't face it. You got to face it. You got to sit in that. You got to acknowledge those emotions. And then after you do that, you have to do something about it. Make decisions based on response, your ability, your responsibility, your ability to respond, not based on your emotions. Because when you do it based on your emotions, a trick will get you every time.
Let me give a transparent moment. I remember being in a situation, in my younger days, and the situation got hard. It got hard because one thing about me, I believe communication is everything. You know what I'm saying? So
Words of affirmation.
yeah, I believe communication is everything. Have the hard conversations. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's communicate. So when the communication was hard, the first thing in my head was to go to somebody and I had people that I could go to talk to. I had people that went to talk to. And then what happens in that communication, because that is one of my love languages, words of affirmation, because I love to communicate. Yeah. And I believe that, communication is how you get to connect. This is how I connect with people, like communication. So we can have a conversation, and that conversation is an adult conversation, and that conversation is meaningful. It ain't us talking about what's across the street. You know what I'm saying? The stuff like that is a meaningful conversation. That was a turn on for me. So at the end of the day, when the conversation got hard, it was easy for me to now try to go talk to the people who I knew that I could talk to. Mm-hmm. But the crazy part was I knew I couldn't be with them because of certain other things that were going on. But I would go to them to conversation, which would lead to me now fulfilling what wasn't going on in the relationship that I was in at the time. So I allowed what I could do or what I felt that I needed. I felt that I needed somebody to hear me. I felt that I needed somebody to talk to so I could get the situation out. And that's what happens, man. That's a little trick, because if you're not getting what you want out of the situation, it's important that you go back and realize who you are.
Mm-hmm. I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Period.
It's important that you know who you are, because some of us, and that was me. Some of us I stayed in situations longer than I should have. No, because again, if my love language is words of affirmation, or just say give or take quality time, and somebody's speaking Chinese to those languages, and I'm still trying to, because I am who I am, I'm going to, and not even just me, I've seen a lot of people do that. They stay in situations way too long, and y'all are not even, one is talking Spanish and the other one is talking French. And it's like nobody is meeting the love language or being able to communicate each other's love language so that the communication could actually build a trust. Communication not only builds trust, but it builds consistent, building. It helps to grow. Communication is the most important key to me, outside of God. It is the next thing that helps build the relationship. Communication. How do you know who that person is if you don't talk and communicate? Right. So,
No, that was good. So basically what I heard you say was that when you were in relationships and things weren't going right, you knew that there was some females that you can go and talk to, and that talking led to fulfillment of your desires and all of that stuff. You play with fire, the passions and the burning and all that.
Playing with fire.
Okay, so my question to you is, we've been married for 10 years. Have you ever done that to me?
No. No. I mean, because when you was a child, you spoke as a child, but when you became an adult, you put away childish things. So when I got married, I became an adult.
Okay, so what was the thing that caused you? Because, like you said, and we've
these were in my. These were in the days of when I was really I was going through some things. Like I was going through trying to be in my kid's life, and it was hard.
Yeah.
Those situations that were going
Your
on.
mom.
Yeah, my mom died. My mom passing when I was young. These are detrimental things that was in my life, and I couldn't talk to nobody about it, because some people, like even some people that I was talking to, they was, oh man, you'll be fine. What?
Yeah, it was very basic.
Yeah, it was basic. Like, but I wanted to, kind of get that out, or talk to somebody to kind of help me navigate through these emotions that I just could not explain.
Right. So a lot of people say once a cheater, always a cheater, or once you get tricked, you always gonna get tricked, right? So that's
I don't believe that.
Okay, to the period. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people say once a cheater, always a cheater, or whatever. So being that we know that and we know the reason now why you did handle business like that back in the day when you were dating and everything. Now, You said as a man, when you put away childish things, what is it that's keeping you from that space, that mindset, or that action today?
Because the need is, I don't fulfill the need anymore. God fulfilled the need. So when God fulfilled that need, then my need for that is filled.
Right.
So I don't have to go looking to fulfill needs when he fulfilled all my needs. And once I got where I am with God, there's a lot of things that he has made me glad. He has made me glad.
Oh my goodness.
I will rejoice, for he has made me glad.
Okay, but
but the point is, I'm happy now. I'm happy with who I am in God. I'm happy with who I am in myself. So there's some things that I figured out. I'm not trying to figure it out anymore. I figured it out, and I understand the key to what it, And the thing is, to even going through that process, you know what I'm saying? That was my process. And a lot of times we get in situations with people while they're going through their process.
Yeah.
So going through that process, you know what you get? You get the dirt, you get kicked in the face.
Right.
You get the you know what I'm saying,
everything
you
that
get the
come with
smell, and
process.
it don't smell good at all.
Right.
So you get all of that stuff that ain't pleasant
'Cause
while
roses
somebody's
really
yeah,
smell like
they smell
boo,
yeah, they
boo,
are boo boo. But yeah, so and then at that time I was really going through my process.
Right.
But so now that process has been,
So do you think that it has anything to do with the fact of the experience that you had with these women that caused you to say, I'm just going to do, I'm not interested?
Well, to be honest with you, it wasn't the experience. It was the consequences.
All right, talk about it.
Because every time that I did it, there was a consequence. There was a consequence. There was I lost something. I always lost. I went to jail, because I wasn't, I had to lie, to keep, I had to lie to kick it, you know what I'm saying? Because, so lying caused me to hurt some people. And when they called the hurt people. So lying caused me to get somebody to now lie on me and and get me in trouble, because all they had to do was say that I did certain things, and then here you go. You getting, the cops are coming to look for you.
Hands behind your back, sir.
And because hands behind your back. What did I do? You committed assault on? No, I did not. But it's her word against mine, and they always take that word. So it was like, dang. So I'm sitting in jail like, dang, if I just wouldn't have, boom. So the consequences that came behind that is what taught me. It wasn't even an experience, because I kept going through the experience.
Right.
But what taught me was the consequence. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Like,
Thank you, Mama Cheeks.
a lot of times, as females, we think that when a man cheats in the relationship we in with them, that it has something to do with me. You did this to me. How can you do this to me? It's interesting, though, that when I asked you that question, not one time when I say, why don't you do that anymore? Not one time did you say, because how great of a woman I am in your life.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with you.
Because it doesn't have anything to do with
It
us.
ain't got nothing to do with you.
It has
nothing to do with you.
One thing he said that was so key was, I'm comfortable with who I am now. I'm comfortable with who I am in God, and I'm comfortable with who I am in me. So when a man is searching and he's not good with who he is, then he's not going to be able to do the things perfectly like you feel like he should as a husband or as a man. So you got to go through the process with him. And sometimes that process is underground.
And do you understand how hard it is going through the process? And going through that process, the process actually, you're figuring things out in that process.
In it, yeah.
So you're like, I don't know what's going on. How do I get through this? So you got all these questions in your mind. And what happens is, a man is at that point now just looking for a level of peace. So if he's with somebody who's kind of confusing the process as more, not just more than what it is, but on top of it already being confusing, then he's going to go somewhere. Not that he's, like I said, not that he's cheating on you. It's because he's trying to figure certain things out. And sometimes, and trust me, we're not saying that it is right. We're not saying, one thing we never do, we won't condone it. But I do understand what happens, because that was that dude. So I would always go and try to figure it out. Like, I don't know, like, when I was young, I had to figure it out on my own. I had to find out how to pay rent. I had to find out because it was sprung on me. So could you imagine of 18 years being taken care of? 18 years being taken care of, and then now all of a sudden you got to learn how to take care of yourself. You don't learn how to drive as soon as you get behind the car wheel. It becomes with learning how to drive. You may have a fender bender. You may crash a little bit, but as you continue to drive, that now you get good at it. So that's the thing. Some men were put in situations. Some beyond their control, some they could control. Some men were put in situations that they just did not understand and didn't have no clue of how to exist in certain situations that they had to grow through and learn. I had to grow up fast. I was put out. I had to grow up fast. But because I was used to my mom taking care of me, that's what I knew. I didn't know to do it on my own because I didn't know how to do it on my own. So the first thing I did was I got with somebody who took care of that. Okay, cool. And that's what I thought a relationship was. So I was dedicated to, and whatever she didn't do, guess what I did? Because there was a lack. I didn't want no lack, and I didn't know how to deal with lack because my mom took care of everything. So here I would go to the next one. I got this need. Boom. Okay, boom. They'll take care. So I got 3 or 4 taking care of needs, and in the midst of it, I'm lying to each one of them because, again, I'm figuring it out. I'm not man enough to be man enough to say, hey, this is what's going on. I'm a boy trying to figure it out, and I'm lying to each one of them, but at the same time, I'm getting what I feel that I need taken care of, but it's a selfish way of thinking, and that's what happens. So never look at, that's why I always say, and I always tell people, cheating is wrong. We will say cheating is wrong, but there is a backlash and a backstory behind the cheating. You know what I'm saying? There's a backstory and a backlash why men are cheating, and then let's just be honest with the situation. If you're not ready, some people are dating. First of all, if you ain't got your own place and if you ain't got your own situation set up, you should not be dating in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Right. You're not even a whole person. And a lot of broken people get into relationships. They get into relationships broken, thinking that relationship is going to fix what's broken in their life.
Right. I like what you said when you said, I'm trying to figure it out in my process. But at the same time, then I get with a female who's now confusing the situation even more. So it's not about the fact that, because she might be going through her process, right?
What's up, Dad?
That's why it's important to date. Date is collect data. You pay attention to that person. You understand their backstory. You kind of get a good grip on what it is that you're inviting into your life and what it is that you're about to get attached to, because you have to understand that is a very vital thing when it comes to being in one of the most important things you will ever do in your life, and that's build a relationship with someone, because it may end up being the person that's the mother or father of your child. That's your legacy. It may end up being somebody that you get married. That's a covenant. These are important things. So we have to learn people before we give ourselves so easily to people.
Yeah. And then what's happening in today's culture? A lot of people are having kids in the middle of their process. Mm-hmm. So we're raising kids not being whole. We're raising kids from this process, and in that process, we're still broken. Yeah. In that process, we're not whole, but we're having kids in the middle of that process.
Right.
So we have a lot of kids that are processed.
Ooh,
they're processed. So what they're doing. So what we're doing now is we're putting sicknesses on their emotions, not realizing that these kids were birthed and born out of a lot of their parents' process. So they grow up hurt, they grow up lacking, they grow up mentally
dealing with a lot.
Yeah, they're dealing with a lot emotionally, and they're dealing with a lot mentally, they're dealing with a lot physically. You know what I'm saying?
And they're not being taught how to deal with these emotions accurately, how to deal with these situations. They just left to their own vices, and now we have children that are growing up with all of these things, and the only thing we know to do is get them checked, to get them diagnosed, because that's the thing right now. But really what it is parenting is not just putting a roof over your head, putting clothes on your back, and giving you food to eat. Parenting is also teaching, it's training, it's guiding. It's not just telling you don't date until you're a certain age. It's helping you to understand how to do it when you do it. It's not just telling you that you should not do certain things or you should be held accountable. You made this mistake. Now you just have to deal with the consequences and teach them properly how. That we're not doing it anymore. What we're doing now is we're leaving our kids with all of our stuff that we put on them on top of the stuff that they have to go through on their own. And that is so unfair to this generation. That's why our kids are in need of help, not a diagnosis, someone that's going to come alongside of them, teach them, train them, mentor them, and to be emotionally intelligent. How about that? To learn how to communicate well, to learn how to take responsibility for their own actions. That's what they need, discipline.
I remember, like I said, while I was going through my process, what I would do would stay too long in dysfunction in my process because that was one thing that I feared. I feared of being alone in the middle of this process.
Oh.
So my fear of being alone in it, the fear of abandoning, this is why I lied a lot about what I was going through, because I didn't want to be alone. And that was selfish because, I didn't allow them to be able to make decisions. So I did. I made some bad choices. I will admit, I made some bad choices. And those choices were made, again, from my situation. But what I'm realizing as I've gained a little wisdom, now it's not about staying. It's about knowing when to walk away. When I see, because there may be some things, and trust me, I see pretty women all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Especially in Houston.
I see pretty women all the time.
It is.
Atlanta, New York, I see them all the time. But the thing is, it's like, if it's getting past what it should be, it don't make me feel like, oh, I got opportunity. It's just I know when to walk away. This is not. Let me go this way because this is not going to be conducive to where I'm trying to go or what I've got delivered over. So that's what wisdom says. Wisdom says not that I'm able to be around the fire, or not that I'm that I can hang around the fire and not get burnt. Wisdom says knowing when to walk away, knowing when to totally just be away from something that you should not be around. And that's what wisdom says. So don't play with fire. Don't play with it. I'm telling you, fire, if you look at what fire does, it causes a great amount of pain. It causes a great amount of pain. And you can't play with fire. Right. Fire is not meant to be, and that's what God used to destroy a lot of He's destroyed a lot with fire. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so so in other words, it causes pain and it is used for destruction.
And it's used for burning away.
Yes.
The stuff that's not anything that's wood, hay, and stubble, and that stuff that's not real, it's gonna burn away. And that's when you see true intentions of a person when there's fire.
That's right. Mama Cheek said, you got to know when you have to flee and do it.
And do it.
Yes. What's up, Dad? My dad is on.
And do it. Hey, Dad.
Yeah, you have to. Exactly. What's that song right? He said, you got to know when to fold, know when to hold them, and know when to fold them, and know when to run.
You know when to walk away. Yeah. You got
run.
to.
You gotta run.
And if you're paying attention tonight, you will see someone who just told you they process. And the only thing that actually is, because you said, Pastor Jay, you said I wasn't man enough to be a man in that situation. It's like it's a lot of men out here who are still being ruled, and it's a lot of women out here who are still being ruled by that little kid inside that was never taking care of that little kid inside that's running a life, and they running marriages with that little kid is running marriages, that little kid is running relationships, that little kid is on your job, some of your colleagues and your employers, because they haven't dealt with that thing that's inside of them that has caused them pain. So they're stuck in that place where the trauma began, that at that age where the trauma began. And so they're making choices. They're falling for the tricks because the tricks make them feel good. The tricks, they don't excuse yourself into falling for the trick. Well, shoot, I deserve this. Well, man, I'm trying and nothing ain't working, so shoot, I mean, she giving me what I need, and it's not what you need. What you need is to be responsible and accountable, and what you need is to go to God and ask God to help you, because like I said, the only thing that's different from most men who are still in situations where they fall for the trick, and Pastor J, is that he finally went to God and surrendered and said, I can't do this no more. The consequences are too great. He walked away and walked into the hands of God, into the arms of God. And that's where your safety is.
Have you ever heard, like, when people say, especially, I hear it a lot, when people who have gone through bad situations, or they don't, some people don't stay in situations long because they feel like they deserve to be treated a certain way. I deserve this. I deserve to feel like I'm a queen, or I deserve to feel like I'm a king. I deserve, and yes, you do deserve to be that way. But the way that we get it is what I want to challenge you at. The way that we get it is really understanding what we deserve. We deserve a kingdom life. We deserve to be rooted and grounded in God. That's what we deserve to do. Because if you're rooted and grounded in that, then everything that you come across, you're going to see it from a whole different angle. Because as actually what I'm learning too is service. You know what I'm saying? Even with church, we have a church service. But to be honest with you, the service of a church is to serve. It's to go into the community and meet the needs of the community.
And
serve. So a lot of times we say that we deserve this treatment, but we don't want to be what we supposed to be kingdom-wise. In other words, if you are fulfilling your purpose or you're living your purpose, there is no good thing that God will withhold from you if you walk upright. So walking upright, guess what? You're going to be acknowledged as a king and you didn't even look for it. You're going to be acknowledged as a queen and you didn't even look for it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have to force what you believe you deserve, because it's going to automatically come. It's a level of standing in posture. I was telling this guy, and oh my God, I promise you, I was telling this guy this the other day. He was telling me, man, why would God allow me to go through this in my marriage? Why would God allow me to deal with certain things like that? Like, why he would? And I'm like, dude, I said, why would God teach you? Because I said, what you don't understand is God is teaching you the posture of marriage. I said, because a lot of us go into marriage and we don't understand the order of it. And if you are out of order, you're going to be out of order, and that marriage is going to go left. It's going to go left. I said, dude, you got to get yourself in position for God to work on your behalf. He don't allow you to go through certain things. What he's doing is trying to get you in position so that now your marriage lines up with the way he called it to be. Because a lot of times we get in marriage and what we think marriage is supposed to be. Here go another feeling or another how we interpret what marriage should be, and it's how I should be treated in marriage. And it's really not that way, because again, if you align up with how God called it to be, if you align up with that, husbands, the source of every man is God. If you're not getting your direction, if you're not getting your instructions, if you're not getting your faith, if you're not getting your strength from God, you can't look from that. You can't look for that from the woman that you're supposed to be giving it to.
Oh.
You cannot look for that. And that's what we do. We're looking for it to come from the person that we're supposed to be giving it to.
Wow. So
when you give it to them, then guess what's going to happen? It automatically falls into place.
Pressed down, shaken together, and running over shall she give into your bosom. And glory. Whew. Jesus. Yes. Get in alignment. Because when you give it to her, she going to give it right back to you, and she got to give it to the kids.
And she got
so
to give it to
you got to give it to her in a capacity where, and you got to be able to handle the capacity where she going to be able to get some and give it to the kids. That's only going to be built on a firm foundation. It's not going to be built on your own stuff, because your own stuff is driven with the wind and toss. You know, it's all over the place. You need something firm.
Yeah, because a lot of times.
You need something firm.
Absolutely. Because a lot of times what we do is we think because it ain't working out and we're not getting what we supposed to get, you know, we go into me mode. We go into what I need mode, what I need mode and me mode. So we go into me street. We go into the me street and the business tree. You know what I'm saying? This becomes a business agreement, and this is what I made it. And it has nothing to do with the alignment. So going into what you feel you need, then guess what happens? Then these temptations come in because you're not getting what you need. It ain't because God don't want to give it to you. It's because you're not in position to get it.
Come on, get in position.
You're not in position to get it. So what happens? We go looking at the fire. Why would you look to get what you want or what you feel you need from fire?
Yeah. That temptation trick you every time. It's good at first, but then like the Bible says, it's honey in your mouth at first, and then till it turns to gravel. Now you chewing on rocks. That's the word. I mean, that's not me. Yeah, it's honey in your mouth at first. It's delicious. It's delightful until it's not. Now you wonder why your front's missing. Chewing on rocks. You don't want it.
Chewing on rocks and eating gravel.
You will not.
But listen, man. Like. It's important, man, that we understand the consequences that happen from small decisions that we make. Everything that we do, let's make sure that we line up with Scripture. We line up with the Word of God. And if you don't know it, I my Bible is on here. I got to go back to that paperback, but that's what helped me through a lot of stuff, and this is why I'm able to give it. And I'm actually seeing it work, because the guy that I've been talking to. He didn't trust God. He really didn't. And actually the vices that he went through, it was fulfilling his need to hear, or it was fulfilling his need to know.
What do you mean?
Like sometimes when you don't know the outcome, and when you're trying to figure out what it's going to be, then what you do is you go searching it. So when you don't know what the outcome is, what it's going to be, you go looking over here. You go looking over here. You'll talk to somebody who's willing to give you whatever word that, if they got to look it up through the stars, then guess what? They're going to give you the word from the stars. If you got to look it up from a meatloaf, a picture of meatloaf, if that meatloaf going to give you an answer, you're going to look for an answer for that meatloaf. So sometimes because we don't know the outcome, we go to vices that help us either prepare for an outcome that we put in our head or prepare for an outcome that we don't know. So the thing is, that's why I said it's very important to get in position, because God will get you ready for how he's going to do it.
So that's what he was doing. He was going to different mediums and soothsayers and stuff like that.
Yes.
Looking for answers.
But
you're seeing it now.
I'm seeing it now, that now the situation is changing. Like he come back to me and say, hey man, God doing this thing. Like, I've been praying on my knees. Wow. Like to hear him say he been going to soothsayers to now saying now I'm watching God like really turn this because he got in position. He really did. And he fought me tooth and nail. Like, why would God put me in this? And man, if God for me, why would he allow this to happen to me? And I'm like, bro, he just only, when trouble comes, is just he trying to line you up.
Yeah.
And sometimes he got to do that to get us to go. Again, I don't understand why when it comes to us as individuals, that the only time we move is when there's a consequence happening. I don't get that. Why something bad have to happen for us to not change the way we do stuff? You know what I'm saying? Why something bad have to happen before we redirect? You know what I'm saying? God be shaking the ground up, but we just, still try to hold on the ground, shaking, still going that way until like he got to take the whole ground and you fall.
Wow.
And it's like, oh wow, okay, I should have went the other way.
Now you on your knees, and the only way from falling is up.
Yeah.
Now you got to look up. Now you got to reach up, and that's where your help is. Some people need to fall.
Now unto him who is able to keep us from falling.
Amen.
And to present us faultless in the presence of his glory.
Amen. You better, boy. Boy.
Come on here.
Yeah. So what the last thing that I'm saying is the only time that you can be safe from the temptation of this world, God said he'll never leave us blind to the devil's devices. It's a lot of devices out there. If y'all notice, y'all see them from the top to the from the rooter to the tip. You see it. The vices of the enemy is everywhere, and now it's right in our faces. The enemy is not hiding anymore. He know his time is short, and he right in our faces. So when you see that it's something that you are dealing with, that is an internal battle, and you want to use a trick or a vice, temptation, and you just want to say forget it and fall, don't lose hope, because that's what that is. You're losing hope that the situation will ever get better. When you continue to have hope, then you can please God. God says faith is the substance of what we hope for. The enemy want to take the hope away. So if you don't have faith, hope, you can't have faith, and without faith it's impossible to please God. Get in alignment, and you will see your life turn around. You will see the tricks coming a mile away, and you'll understand the consequences that the trick got in her trick bag. And now you will say, because you are comfortable and you love yourself enough in God, and you love yourself just because of who you are, you will say, nah, I ain't falling for the trick bag today. And
before we go, we got you on Liza. You go back and watch the replay. Patricia said he got into alliance with God. That's right. Do notice that even there's a trick, not just in relationships, but even in the church. There's something that's trending on the social media world or the platforms today about pastor and musician. Pastor versus musician. Pastor saying the musicians should not get paid, should play for free. Musicians are now tired of pastors keep saying this and stuff like that. But what we're not realizing is that this is a trick. This is a trick. You know what I'm saying? We already, as a body of Christ, we already like we not looking like God. I'm gonna say that just what it is. We're not, as a body of Christ. We're not. I don't know what has happened to the church. I don't know what has happened to the church, but I know our focus is off. Like why the purpose is not to go back and forth with the musicians, because guess what we all do? We serve. So our job again is to go and make disciples. If that is our focus and our goal, we would not be on social media arguing about the musicians should not be they should be doing this for free. That is not lining up with the purpose of God. But here it is. It's a trick to keep dividing the church and keep making the church fall off its purpose and keep making the church look like, it should not look. This is the church is a place where people should feel comfortable, because a lot of people are looking for God. We talk to them every day. There are a lot of people that are looking for God, but they don't want to look for him in the church. They don't want to look for him there. They don't. A lot of people saying, they don't even want to go to church. And a lot of churches that we look at now, there are some churches that we're not getting, on every one of the churches, because there are some churches that are doing it. There are some churches that are growing and filling their seats up, but there are a lot of churches that are empty, and the pastor preaching to 3 people in the pews. But it's like, again, should not be the focus of arguing. But I'm just saying it to say that here's another way where a trick is being placed and we're falling for it. You know what I'm saying? We're playing with fire when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think even when it comes to relationship in the church, when it comes to our relationship with people who we'll call our spouses, there's so many things right now, especially because of Juneteenth, especially with this being Pride Month, You know what I'm saying? I even see a lot of stuff going on and they're arguing about love, and they're arguing about, the LGBT ABC community, and they're arguing and stuff about that. But it's like, what have we come to, y'all? Like, understanding, like, this is not what God has ordained. This is not what God has this is not what he desires for his kingdom. So it's like, yo, we gotta reboot. We gotta start over. Let's start over, man. Let's understand our purpose. Let's understand why we understand the trick. You know what I'm saying? These are signs. Because again, just like there's signs in relationships, there's signs in signs and wonders that lurk around
Signs
us
of
every
the
day.
times, yeah.
That lurk around us every day. And we gotta recognize these signs so that we can move accordingly to how God plans for us to move. And let's get ready, y'all. We at war. We at war. But we can't be at war with one another when we need to be fighting the enemy who wants us to be at war.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's another trick in the trick bag. So basically, a trick will always tell you what you want to hear. It's always going to tickle your ear. It's always going to give you the goody until it's being instructed by its father.
Yeah.
To go ahead and do them in. Go ahead and lay the boom down. So we have to understand that a trick comes, but a trick also comes with a consequence. So just remember, if the life you want is a life of abundance, the life of more abundantly, a life of blessings, and a life of obedience and surrender to Christ, that's how you got to get it. You got to get in line with God. So that's our show for today, everybody. Don't fall for the trick. Don't play with fire or you will get burned.
Burn, baby, burn.
Yes, okay. So I'm your girl, Lady Free.
I'm your boy, Pastor J.
And that's our show for today. Don't forget to subscribe, Shift Real Talk TV on YouTube. We on all social media platforms. And until next week, honey, we will see you back. Remember, same bad channel, same bad place. Peace.
Thanks for watching.